Welcome everyone. This is going to be the basic carving 101 class. I want to teach you how to do a leather flower today. So, that being said, I want to point you out. Here's your 5 basic cuts. Your straight cut, your C cut, your backward C cut, your S cut, and your backward S cut. Also, here's your basic full-on strike. Here is what we call a toe strike, meaning I lean forward with the tool. Instead of full contact, I lean it forward. This one here is a heel strike, meaning you tilt it backwards. Here is a left-sided strike. Here is a right side strike. So you'll basically want to strop your swivel knife. This is what you're going to use to cut the leather. You're going to apply it at a 15-degree angle. You're going to start on the rough side. I've already applied my polishing compound. Do it like 4 or 5 times. Now flip it over, do the other side. Now flip it over and do the same thing on the smooth side. Okay, so your blade is ready to go. It is stropped. You can either do it at the beginning of your carving session or at the end of the carving session. I usually do it at the end, but for argument's sake, I'm doing it at the beginning just to show y'all how to do it. Now, I've already cased my leather, and what they mean by casing your leather is spraying it down and getting it wet. Now, if it's too wet, when you do stamping, it'll become super mushy, so you'll want it to become a little bit different temperature, so to speak. If you put the back of your hand on there, it should feel nice and cool, very similar to your skin. So that being said, it's ready to go. I have my swivel knife. I like this angled ceramic bladed one. It helps greatly on the curves, and that's where you're going to see the magic on the flower carving. So I like to start and do perfect straight, nice, tight curves. Now you aim to cut about halfway through the leather. So if you got some thick leather, guess what? You're cutting about halfway through it. To get the best line possible, I try not to lift the blade off the line to give it the line a much clean, connecting, smooth, transitioning cut. It's almost the same as how tattoo artists will not lift their needle off unless they absolutely have to. Opinions vary. With leather crafting, you ask a dozen different leather crafters, you're going to get a dozen different answers. So keep that in mind. Everybody's got an opinion. Oops, sorry about that. Here we go. Coming back. I missed that line a little bit. That's okay. I can clean that up later. All right, perfect. Now, what I do is I line up my tools in the order of how I'm going to use them. Here's my striking tool. It's called a maul. It's a 12-ounce maul. I don't need something heavy. I'm only using it for walking tools, so I don't need anything super heavy. Now here, where I'm striking it, I'm digging it right into the line here, but as I'm doing it, I'm leaning it to the right and gently striking. You can strike as light or as hard as you want to. Purely up to you. As you get more experienced, you'll decide what you like. In all fairness, this is probably only my 12th time doing this pattern, so I'm no expert by any means. But I want you to see how it gets done from start to finish. Okay. So, oh, by the way, this is my camouflage tool. It's brass. I like brass. If I can get brass, I definitely get brass. All right. So now I'm going to give it a hard strike here. Try to strike it hard and evenly. There you go. Okay. So basically how I use the camouflage on the edge here, I'm going to do it over on this side as well. I'm going to start in the ring and work my way outwards. And again, I'm going to put the tool into the swivel knife cut. It helps guide it. Now, if your leather starts to get dry at any time, you can go ahead and give it another light mist. But as you do, you'll have to wait for it to absorb. Otherwise, you'll be working with some pretty mushy leather. So I'm done with that tool. Here's a little close-up so you can see. So next, I'm going to work on the edge here with my, what they call edge beveler. There's so many different types of bevelers. You're going to have so many different types. This one is steeped and is smooth. So you're basically casting, the best way to look at it is you're going to create and cast a shadow all the way around here. And it basically helps clean up the lines. Some people do not bevel this line. I always bevel this line. It helps give it extra texture. Some people bevel every line. You will end up doing what you like to do. You'll figure it out as a leather crafter. Again, ask a dozen leather crafters, get a dozen different answers. So here I'm just lightly hitting it and I'm making it move. Basically what they're doing is, how they call it, walking the tool. And it's creating a little indenture and kind of creates a shadow. The more you lean it over to the left, so to speak, you'll get a fatter and shadow that has more depth to it. And then I'll go maybe a millimeter past the line, past my carve-in line. As you can see here. All right. So the next step that I'm going to do is going to use the Pear shader here. This one is that I'm using is going to be smooth, and again, I'm going to use it as a walking tool. And that's all of that one. Gonna give it a little spray here. I'm gonna pause the video, get a drink of water, and let this water absorb into the leather real quick, and then I'll be right back. Here's what you're looking at now so far. All right, now I'm back. We've had a little bit of time for this water to absorb for a couple of minutes. So I'm going to show you a few little optional things that I do here. Right here, this is called a cedar stamp, S-E-E-D-E-R. You're basically going to create a little unique look here. There's like 3 different ways you can do that. But for all quick purposes, I'm going to show you the easier way, and is actually one of my favorite ways. The look of it is very kind of unique. All right. So I did 5 seed strikes right here, and then I'm going to take my swivel knife and I'm going to give it little like dollop cuts. They're kind of decorative, so to speak. Another way you could do it as well is to just hit it a whole bunch of times with the cedar stamp and create a blend, so to speak. I personally like this one. This is one of my favorites. However you choose to do it, I've done it numerous times. You'll find other ways to do it as well, but those are the easier ones, so to speak. This is the last technical real step you have to do. This is what they call a background. This one is rough, so this is obviously another walking tool one. I'm just going along this edge here, not striking it too hard. Oops, just went over the line a little bit. No big deal. Okay, so All these that I'm about to do now are purely optional. You do not have to do it. I'm going to do it. It's funny too, 9 times out of 10 I always regret doing these, but sometimes, just sometimes, it comes out looking perfect. Excuse me. So this one is called a Vayner stamp. Now technically most people will use it down here where I use my camouflage, but I prefer to use the camouflage there. But here, see, once again, it doesn't look that great and I kind of regret it, but that's okay. I just wanted to show you. Sometimes I go this way, sometimes I go that way. Either way, you'll figure out what you like along the way. And then this is what they call a mule's foot. Again, this is an optional one, but I'm showing you this one because you may like it and decide you want to do it. Kind of looks like a hoof. Sometimes when I do horse stamping, you can make it look like you can put these behind the horse to give it a unique look, like it was running. So technically that's all you have to do. But here's another optional thing. It's going to be swivel knife cuts. They're decorative. Sometimes less is more, and I highly encourage you to do less, especially in the beginning. But I'm gonna show you how I sometimes do it. I always try to follow a curvature of the leaves. Now if you make the cuts and they look straight, they look less attractive than curved ones. So try to only do curved. All right, well, here you go. Here's the finished product. My next video, I'll show you how to resist and antique it. And what I like to do is I save all these, and you can see how you progressively get better. But I turn these into coasters and give them away as gifts. Well, y'all, thanks for stopping by. I hope you all have a great day. Take care.